Hi, my name is Dominique Stein, and today we will be talking about the quality of character that is perseverance. So to begin, a definition. In my own words, I believe that perseverance is repeatedly pushing to continue on and refusal to give up. To persist is to push through the pain, whether that's physical, emotional, mental. It's falling down or encountering an obstacle and not letting that stop the progress. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, perseverance is continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. When we're looking at perseverance, you have to ask, what inspires athletes to struggle through the obstacles? Typically, you're going to have coaches, teammates, mentors, family members, people that are pushing you and telling you, I believe in you. I know you are capable. You can do this. They're people that inspire them to continue on regardless of what this obstacle may be. That's the wins and the losses. You take the wins and you say, okay, this is what works. How do we perfect that? How do we keep building on that? Then you take the losses and say, what doesn't work? How can we make it better? What changes can we make to improve? It's overcoming the odds. A lot of athletes are going to be inspired by proving people wrong, because typically, and more often than not, you're going to have that naysayer that says, I don't believe you can do this. Because of A, you won't be able to achieve B. It's taking those doubts, that negativity, and turning around and turning into something positive and saying, it's because of this that I want to achieve this. It's part of what makes the victory so much sweeter. Another question is, when does perseverance come into play? As I just said, victory. The victory at the end of the race, at the end of the game, the end of the season, that final competition. It's the victory you get to experience with your coaches and your teammates. Maybe you've never won something before, so it makes the victory even more exciting. It's your first win. And that's a lot of times what's going to push people to keep going. They want to experience that. They want to taste the victory. An example of perseverance would be Dave Waddle, who competed in the 1972 Olympics in the 800 meters. It's a 2-lap race, and it's the finals at the Olympics. He started off the race in the very back of the pack, and by the second lap, he was catching up to every single person in the group, and he crossed the finish line in first. There is a link in the PowerPoint. I suggest you watch the video. It is an absolutely incredible race. Another inspiring athlete who is a beautiful example of perseverance is Paralympian Tucker Dupree. He found out in high school that he was 80% blind in both eyes, and yet he still broke 5 US records and 5 Pan American records in his first Paralympic competition in 2007. Also another incredible athlete. For leaders in athletics, one of the most common names, one of the most popular names you're going to hear is Michael Jordan. He is popular for his quote that says, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan is a perfect example of how perseverance keeps athletes going. He could have shot 1,000 shots, missed them all, and then said, you know what, maybe basketball's not for me. But no, he took those failures and he figured out how to make them into victories. He kept practicing, he kept pushing through, he refused to give up. And now he is one of the most well-known basketball players there is. Michael Jordan. He's a great athlete. When we're looking at leaders who persevere, you need to look at the first-time coaches versus the experienced coaches. So for first-time coaches, it's hard to want to push through when not only you're the new kid on the block, so you have to sell yourself to the students, the athletes, the teachers, the parents, administration, the fans. You're the new kid, and getting them to trust you, to believe in, your plan and how you're going to coach things is kind of intimidating. You're also establishing a team, which you may not have any experience with, and that can be hard when a lot of people are saying, no, I don't think I want to be on your team. You have to get that establishment, and you have to make students and athletes want to trust you and be on your team. You want them to believe in your methods, your goals, what you want for the team. You're also creating a coaching plan, which can be kind of intimidating, because a lot of times if it's not working, you're gonna be like, okay, well, let me just give up. But no, you have to keep pushing through. You have to say, okay, if this isn't working, how do I make it better? How do I create a plan that's going to benefit myself, the athletes, the program? You also have to ask for feedback as a first-time coach. And that can be intimidating, because you're saying, all right, what do you think we can do better next time? You're asking for them to help you, to encourage you to keep going forward. And that's a big step. For experienced coaches, the coaches that have 10, 15, 20 years of coaching, sometimes you have to persevere and you have to say, okay, how can I change my coaching habits in a way that will benefit my athletes? Because with all the research and things that are being done, coaching, habits, they can go out of date very quickly. And so you have to figure out, okay, what's the newest trend? What's the thing that's working? What are different coaching habits and plays and regimens that people are using that I could try with my training with my athletes? You have to welcome in those new ideas, which can be really intimidating if you've been using the same coaching regimen for the last 5-10 years. So you're persevering by saying, I'm going to continue to better myself to better my athletes. You're also leading by example, which is huge. If your athletes see that you're willing to push through adversity, push through those obstacles, it's going to inspire them to want to do the same, not only for themselves, but for you. And you become, part of what makes that victory so much greater, is they saw you pushing through, and it's inspiring. To me, a leader with perseverance has 3 things. Not only are they dedicated, but they're willing to fail, and they turn negatives into positives. A dedicated leader dedicates themselves not only to the team and the athletes, but the administration, the fans. They're there day in and day out, trying to better the team, better themselves. They're working towards that victory, towards that goal that they've set for their team. They're also willing to fail. They're using the failures to fuel the fire. They say, you know what? We didn't get this win this time, but how can we take what we've learned from this loss and turn it into a win? How can we perfect our game to make it to the end, to make it to that championship game? And they learn from their mistakes like anybody else. And they turn negatives into positives. Say you get a budget cut. Are you going to start raising money? Are you going to change the way that you're budgeting for the team? It's taking those obstacles and turning them into positive things. Maybe you're teaching your athletes, hey, we're going to give back and it's going to help us in return. James 1:12 says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." When you put this into sports, in the world of sports, you're saying athletes that persevere find the greatest glory in their efforts when they see all of their hard work put to the test and have it end in a victory and winning the championship and winning the race, being handed that trophy at the end. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Teaching character through sport says you can always identify the people who will eventually be successful because they have the inner strength to persevere. Who are the athletes that stand out? The ones that are struggling with classes and working hard with tutors after school to stay on their academics, to stay on the team. It's the athletes dealing with injuries that are going through rehab and pushing through the pain to try and be there for their team, even if that means just sitting on the bench. If that means sitting in on practices and watching the new plays, or understanding how they work, they're doing everything that they can to be part of that team. So in conclusion, each season comes with its own challenges, unexpected injuries, big losses, even bigger victories. It's how the athlete, the coach, and the team choose to persist that determines how the season will be remembered. It's the team that perseveres that has the greatest victory. Thanks.